My advice for all the students that begin writing in foreign language is that being spontaneous is always good, but maybe not in terms of writing. So first, plan everything. Think about right subject. Think about what sort of form you want to put this subject into, what sort of context you want to include. So first be prepared and then begin to write.
Starting to think about what you're going to write and start to think about the topic, I think that's the first step. And if you're not sure if you're going on the right track, talk to your teacher. I think that's the best thing to do at the beginning. The problems with writing is that it takes time to write, and people don't do it progressively, so it becomes more a problem actually. And if you set small goals for every day, say that today I'm going to work only for 2 hours and I'm going to think about this and I'll try to accomplish this small goal. Tomorrow maybe I'll talk to my teacher, then the following day I'm going to write my intro and my first part. Those small goals actually make you less stressed out, so your mind is clearer to write, and second, you enjoy it in the end. You end up by enjoying it.
Sure, or at least try to become as familiar with as many different words and as many different contexts as you can, because that way it'll allow you to, if you might not know exactly what words you can use, you can always look it up, and then from the list you'll be able to see if there's any that jump out at you that you already know, and you can be like, oh, well, I know I can use this one in this sort of form, and then you can pull that one instead of just picking a random one off the list. And if that's not possible, if you don't know at all what to use, try and work around it. If you want to say professor, but you don't know the term for professor, maybe talk about how it's a teacher that teaches in college. Just work your way around it using vocabulary that you do know. Try and think in whichever language you're writing in. So don't try and think. I mean, it is easier thinking in English than just transferring it over to German or whichever language you're speaking. But it doesn't. I feel it doesn't work as well as if you just would think in the language you're writing your paper in. So that way you're not working on translating it. You're instead just working on putting your thoughts on the paper.
Yes. One, have plenty of time and set up strong deadlines for yourself. And two, do not be discouraged if what you wrote yesterday you have to completely rewrite tomorrow. Do not be afraid to start from scratch and go back and forth.
To start early so that you can look it over again and again and again. If you have, one day to write and look at a paper, you're not going to have your best work. And I definitely think that giving it to someone else for a fresh pair of eyes on it can help support, your argument, find better evidence if you don't have enough, and just fix the grammar. So, leave enough time for yourself to look it over critically, and if possible, find someone else to help you do that.
Like the writing studio.
Yeah, start early. Yes, I mean, you don't have to finish early. You don't have to, you don't have to be somebody who's done 3 weeks before the end of the semester. But at least give it a start. Even if you only write if you have a 10-page paper, you only write a page. At least you got to start, so that when you do sit down to really work on it hard, you're like, well, I've already got something, and that's a little motivating too. Writing is also partially mental, and so if you've got that small little victory, then you've already got something started. And just edit and edit and edit and edit and edit until you just can't look at it anymore, because chances are, the more you edit it and the more you keep re-looking at it, the better it'll look to somebody else. Because you might know what you want to say, but you're not. The first couple times you write it, you're not expressing it the way other people will understand. So you definitely want to edit and take breaks in between, so that when you look at it 2 days, you are a different person in 2 days. So when you look at it in 2 days, you're like, what was that? What was I thinking? So that somebody else would say the same thing. So start early and edit and revise.
Don't get frustrated at yourself for not knowing what to say or like how to start, or like you just have to start. And once you start, you have like, you could take any kind of avenue you want. Like, oh, I could take it this way or that way. And
write early and write a lot. Also read a lot. And take your time when writing in a foreign language. Take your time. You will not write as quickly as in your mother tongue. But take your time and do your best, and then look it over, talk with native speakers. You will get there.